Hi everyone, this is Josh Smith here with GottaBeMobile.com. Today we're taking a look at the first budget 4G LTE device from Verizon. This is the Pantech Breakout. It starts at $99 with a 2-year contract after a $50 mail-in rebate. And through the end of September, if you're upgrading from a regular cell phone, you can actually score a $100 gift card and get this phone for free, which is a pretty amazing deal considering the speeds that you get on Verizon's 4G network. This device has a single-core 1 GHz processor, and it has a 4-inch screen. Pretty basic specs. The 4G radio really gives it a boost in terms of our opinion of the device. And we'll take a look at it. First thing we'll notice is we are running Android 2.3, which is Gingerbread, the latest release. But we do have a custom skin over top that brings us some widgets, a larger app drawer. A lot of this phone is geared towards probably that first-time smartphone buyer who will appreciate things like this larger app drawer, larger icons. Everything's just a little bit more pronounced than you might see on other skins. One issue that we did run into is just there is a little bit of lag when bouncing between apps. Not something that's going to get in the way of your average user, but if you really desperately need performance, you'll definitely be happier with a device like the Droid Bionic. It comes out of the box with a default live background, which can eat up your battery life. Your default search provider is also Bing, but you can adjust that pretty easily in the browser settings. As we go through here, you'll see some different widgets that come with the device. We have an AccuWeather widget that's part of this overlay from Pantech. It's pretty nice. You have a different selection of clocks. Your app menu will allow you to do left and right swipe. You also maintain access to your phone context messaging when you're up in there. Near as I can tell, there is no way to customize what goes down here, which is kind of a bummer, especially if you want to use something other than contacts on a very regular basis. In here, you'll notice we do have a helping of Verizon pre-installed apps like Blockbuster, City ID, Let's Golf. I believe there's a Need for Speed game, Slacker, a few others, things that you can't always uninstall, which is kind of a shame because this phone does have limited internal memory. As we take a look around the device, on the left side we have headphone, our volume up and down, and then we also have a dedicated voice control button that launches a Nuance app for talk to dial, talk to search, pretty much a lot of the stuff that's already built in, but a different technology there if you'd like to use it. On the other side of the device, you'll notice that we have a hard camera button, which is something that a lot of people will like. The power button is oddly placed in the middle of the right side. This takes a lot of getting used to, and frankly I wish it was at the top, but if you own it for 2 years, you'll probably get used to that in a month or so. Our charging port is right here for a micro USB charging. Unlike some of the other 4G LTE devices, there is no HDMI out. But there is DLNA streaming, so you can do some wireless streaming if you have the right hardware in your house. On the back of the device, we have a 5 megapixel camera, and we have a speaker right next to it. On the front, we also have a VGA webcam for video chat. One thing that you'll notice about the screen right here is that you will see some fingerprints. It is really attractive to fingerprints, more so than a lot of other smartphones that we've seen. Once you peel the back cover off, we do have a 1500 milliamp hour battery, which is pretty decent. It's allowed us to get through a full day of 3G coverage with room to spare. We have an 8 GB micro SD card and our Verizon 4G LTE SIM. We're going to be testing this battery out in 4G conditions here pretty shortly to see how that handles. Here you can get a look at the built-in camera app, which has pretty easy switching between video and still images, and you can switch quickly between the front and rear facing cameras. We do have the handy button so we can take a snapshot. Focus is pretty quick. Image quality is pretty good. The one thing that is rather annoying to me is after I take this image, you see we get stuck on the image, so we have to hit back in order to go take another picture. So if you're taking a lot of pictures at an event, that will get quite tedious over time. The Pantech Breakout has trouble competing with the high-end 4G LTE devices which preceded it, but it really doesn't have to. This $99 device is aimed at the average user who's getting their first smartphone or upgrading to the 4G LTE network without a need for a huge 4.3-inch display, dual-core processor, or some of the other things that not every user really cares about. If you are an average user, the Pantech Breakout performs admirably. I'd advise you to read our full review at GottaBeMobile.com and definitely get some hands-on time with the device at your local Verizon retailer. Compare it with the rest of the 4G lineup and with other new devices like the HTC Rime that are on the way out.